95% of teen weight loss advice focuses on restriction and deprivation, set up lifelong battles with food. But what if the secret to healthy teen weight management isn't about eating less, but about nourishing more?
Today, we're exploring how teens can develop a healthy relationship with food and their bodies during the most critical development years of their lives.
As parents, we want our kids, our teenagers to develop in a healthy way,
Yes, to thrive.
to thrive, have confidence, because this is kind of the years where we begin to trust and really transition out to their adult
Independence.
independence.
Yes, this is the very informative years for development growth where they're learning to they're growing physically, but also mentally, emotionally into that independent, crossing over into adulthood. So it's a very critical time of their lives.
Yeah, I mean, when I think back, I know I had like a deep down. Well, I probably didn't know it at the time that I knew it, but I think I did have it in me where I really wanted to have this, positive lifestyle of just having good habits and not be scarred from emotions from all the kids being me, what have you. And especially too, now how the diets are we're kind of out there. You got to do this and do that, and all the fast foods, what have you. Yeah, I definitely look back and wanted to make sure that I did develop lifetime habits.
Gravitating to the bad habits that sticks with you, and it leads to like emotional trauma. Well, I shouldn't say traumas, but just this emotional scarring that's on you because you're afraid you're going down that path of not eating clean, but you're still going down that path, and it's just like that internal struggle.
Yeah, I remember when I went to college for the first time. I went to college for a number of times, but went to college. Leaving the house from 17 to 18 undergrad, and all that food was in the cafeteria to go eat, and I just ate, kind of like disregard for how I was eating before. I put on 30 pounds, the freshman 30.
Oh yeah, well, usually it's the freshman 15, but you went 30.
It could be 15. I mean, I got heavy. I remember going back to watch a basketball game, and one of my buddies from high school goes, "Man, you put on some weight." Like, what? I didn't put no weight on, but I put some weight on. So that stigma right there, And,
Right.
but thank God, because back then we didn't have social media, and they have a lot of conflicting advice.
All right.
You kind of knew what to do,
Right.
but today, man, it's so many.
Much information out there that is conflicting, and then it kind of reinforces, especially for girls. They see other girls who are, in shape and fit, and it does something to their psyche. Or it's like, people who are overweight justifying that it's okay, love me for who I am. This is who I am, and it just makes them feel like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be, even though I'm unhealthy.
Well, and that's interesting you said that too, because if you go too far skinny, it's not healthy.
Right.
You go too far fat or obese,
Yes.
it's not healthy
Either.
at all. And then you got those two worlds you got to live in. So you like, okay, well, I'm stuck in the middle, but what the middle even looks like. And I think when you go from one extreme to the other, I mean, there's this whole thing about foods where it's like restrictive diets begin to start focusing on the things you can eat and not eat the good and the bad.
When did that come about? People always focusing on calorie counting. Is that something from the 80s, you think?
And Jenny Craig and
those
Weight Watchers and all of them. I forget their programs exactly what they were, but yeah.
Yeah, they started that, and it kind of stuck with people to calorie count.
And the thing is, you can't accurately calorie count.
No.
One thing to throw off, you'll know what's going on in the food these days.
Especially if you eat out some, right? Or
Yeah.
if you're eating you're not supposed to be eating packaged food, but if you're eating packaged food,
But that's the thing. That's American
unless
diet.
you read on the label what it is.
That's the American diet. It's what most people eat. And I think that's part of the problem. I think another part of the problem is that, like exercise, when you see all these different routines, and it looks like punishment. I got to kill myself to even get a benefit from exercising. And if you just look at, like, I guess how many calories you burn in exercise, you ain't burning that much.
Oh.
I mean, you go for a 2 mile run. I mean, you're 300 calories. But then you see people like, you know what? I'm gonna go reward myself with a donut.
Which is double the calories.
Yeah.
That is true, because you think you're burning a lot, and you're not really burning as much as you think you are.
Yeah, I mean, you burn calories because you're working, but you're actually exercising for other reasons, and that's where you got to start thinking about exercise more of like a movement that's more joyful and
Yes.
beneficial.
Right. Find what you like to do in terms of movement.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we put those two together, the diet plus the exercise. I mean, how hard can you go for how long? How long can you go calorie counting? I mean, those approaches, like, you see it, people kind of cycle up,
Yeah.
cycle down,
Yeah.
up and down. It's vicious.
Yeah. That's not healthy at all to cycle up and down in your weight. That could
No.
actually bring problems, even worse problems.
Yeah.
And you've had celebrities who've died because of those complications that it brings on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eating disorders.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Uh, a lot of people have that, don't even realize they have it too, right? They're eating. Um, food. People have such an unhealthy relationship with food, right? And if children are having it, or it's being reinforced by social media or their surroundings, that's terrible.
Yeah. And the thing is, now there's always research or some kind of studies, but when you start looking into some of these reports that come out and how everything's focused on these weight focused approaches, it creates more problems than solutions.
Right.
It really does. I mean, like for teenagers who diet, they're actually more likely to gain more excessive weight over time, not less,
That's true.
because the relationship they have with eating.
Yeah, it's not good, right? So they're gonna beat themselves up, and then next thing you know, they're overeating again. Or some of them may go the the extreme opposite, and not eat and starve their bodies and continually starve their bodies. And that's not even a healthy relationship with food, right?
Yeah.
So, and what are the health professionals saying about this?
Well, I mean, everyone's a health professional these days. You go on social media, and they know what they're talking about, but when you listen to them, they have no idea what they're talking about, and it's confusing for people. I think, though, that there's people who are more forward-thinking, who try to look at more of the preponderance of evidence, but it's more of a thinking towards growing versus hindering. And when you think about growing, how can I grow in just my lifestyle, my skills, my movement, the way I eat? And then that way, I guess my body will start to go in that direction that I have envisioned it, because you're actually growing towards it versus even even though you're trying to lose weight, you can still grow towards that body image,
Right, right.
you know? And it's sad though, because like you said, all the stuff that's in the food, and you start thinking about, the diet industry.
Yeah,
It's
that's
huge.
$1 billion industry.
$70 billion.
70, see?
Probably more.
See, all the drinks and the snacks they capitalize on, they advertise to children. And if they can get you at a young age advertising to you, and they hook you in, by the time you turn adolescence, especially into teen years, they've got you hooked.
And they do. They shame you into,
Yeah.
well, they shame kids into the insecurity. I got a quick fix. Everybody in America loves a quick fix. Give me the pill, and they're capitalizing on it. And then, we can keep on harp on social media, but my goodness, man, those algorithms seem to be promoting
Yes.
these unrealistic body standards and extreme approaches.
It is. It does. It really does. And that's sad. And it's the medical advice out there, it doesn't take into account the development changes during puberty, right?
That's another thing too. Yeah, I mean, you have the whole medical, like everything from the medical perspective. You go see the doctor, it's like, oh, there's a problem. That's maybe not a problem, but maybe it's just normal development.
Yeah.
And so you be put on weight as a kid, you got hormone changes, or a teenager, and it's fluctuating. So maybe, even though you may be eating well, you can still put on weight because it's normal.
See, nobody ever talks about that. So if you're a parent that you feed your child healthy food or clean food, right, and they put on weight, some kids, they grow out then up,
Oh,
right? I've seen that happen in not our family, but I've seen it happen in like my extended family, where some of my cousins, they tend to, when they were growing up, they grow out first, then up. And then some kids, they just grow tall, skinny and tall, right? And then you have some who grow proportional. They're lucky, right? They grow out and up at the same time. It's just everybody's body is so different.
yeah. And you got to recognize that. So just because, You may be a little overweight. Don't mean it's bad.
Doesn't mean, yeah.
So we gotta.
Now, if you're eating healthy, now if you're chugging the sodas and you know you're not consuming the right foods and you're overweight, that could be bad.
Yes.
That is bad, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is that we got to get out of those mindsets and the little algorithms, what have you, because what happens is when you eat like that, this whole long-term metabolic damage from like restrictive eating and the bad foods, it can have really bad effects from a lot of inflammation, chronic inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, where you just can't produce the energy that you need to function properly.
And that leads down the road to more serious health, serious diseases.
Yeah, and talk about that vicious circle we've been talking about. That just has potential to create, like I said, more eating disorders, which just makes it go over and over.
Yes, and eating disorders or any disorder, it's going to have other effects, whether it's through dental effects or skin issues or whatever. It's a domino effect.
And the worst of it all is it starts to cut years from your life.
Yeah.
You know, so food's either gonna heal you or it's gonna harm you, and you keep harming yourself with these restrictive type of diets. I mean, yeah, the mortality rate's gonna, the age is gonna go down. Mental health conditions can go up because you're confused what's really kind of happening.
And how many people out there suffering from that, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
But you nailed it though, about eating healthy.
about eating healthy.
Yeah,
and,
from the get
from the
go.
get-go, yeah. And it goes back to the parent, right? What are you feeding your children? What are you promoting? They're looking at you. So if you're not eating clean, they're going to do the same thing. And some parents will say, oh, I try to feed my kids vegetables, but they don't like it.
You said a key word though. Try.
Try.
Seriously, don't try anything. You just got to do
Do
it.
it. You have to lead by example too.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to eat vegetables, how can you expect little Johnny to not eat to want to eat vegetables, right? You have to instill it in them. And if they don't like carrots, you try a different vegetable. And if they don't like, until you find what they like. And I'm pretty sure there's vegetables out there kids will enjoy, and especially it depends on how you make it.
Yeah. So overall, and it's the environment that a kid grows up, of how they develop the healthy habits
Right.
during this crucial year of development. And the thing is, I mean, is being a parent inconvenient to your life? Yeah, but I tell you what, though, it's a complete. I mean, I'm grateful for the experience of going through it. And so is it inconvenient to me? No, I mean, it's work and I got to focus on it, but that's okay. Cause I just think it's a joy to raise kids the best I possibly can to be good adults.
Yeah, to raise some humans who are thriving, who are healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Yeah. And then,
It's a
when
good
you're,
thing.
when you're in touch with that, you begin to realize that going through puberty, they're going through an essential part of their life, and this weight gain or fluctuation, I mean, it's completely biological and it's programmed. It's probably more protective than harmful than anything else.
That's a good way of looking at it. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Being protective, right? The adolescent brain is still developing. Right?
Yeah.
You have to feed it good food,
Yes.
right? And that good food will have a positive effect on them.
Good image of the body. You got a good relationship with the food itself. You know how to regulate what to eat, not to eat. I think just overall, in this period of time is when you develop those habits, you can have just a overall good sense of wellness.
Okay.
That way, you don't have to just target the weight. 'Cause when you do that, you target wellness versus just the weight itself. You're gonna have healthier outcomes and better just mental or psychological positivity.
How many people you know out there who have overall well-being, teens when they come to your practice?
Yeah, well, not too many, and I already know who's the good parents and who the bad parents are when they do come in. I can just tell, and not so much bad people. It's just parenting skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so there's definitely a big change here, and it's about reframing health as a capacity for living fully, right? So it's main shift. So if I can practice it, if I can think about just living my life to a full capacity, being who I want it to be, versus I got to achieve some kind of certain body size or some kind of image that society tries to throw on me. That's not healthy whatsoever.
Right. That's true. and you create a supportive environment, right, where your teens can develop that intuitive eating skill. And that's when you come together as a family and you eat. And I understand, you have sports and everybody's in different activities, but you try your best to feed them a healthy. Just this is where meal planning come into play, and you try to work together as a family to see what everybody's input is to eat properly, to eat something that make something that everyone would like, take turns picking something, and you help build that skill of meal planning, but also eating healthy and to eat intuitively.
It's interesting you said something about sports. What if everything sports is great and sports are good? You learn discipline, responsibility, you get physical activity, but this whole culture now, sports has taken over the lives of the families.
It is.
And now you're planning around sports versus them planning around your core family eating together.
Right.
And my question is, what truly is more important? So now you've got, you 6 o'clock dance class, 7 o'clock game, and now you're trying to plan around that. The family's not eating together. You're eating fast food, right? You're living a life around sports versus having the family be the central core unit that you're living your life for. It's just a
Especially
thought.
if parents are working too. So
Yes.
they go
Yeah.
straight from work to, shuffling kids to different activities.
And all this stuff in life plays into our environment and the habits that we develop, which leads to the results that we get. So with all that being said, if you kind of think about how to approach like these forward-thinking medical people or health coaches, it's like a little cute acronym came up with. It's called
He
the
loves
GROW.
acronyms.
Yeah, you got to have a growth mindset.
Okay.
Where you're growing. So GROW, growth mindset. You want to have R's for regular nourishment. That's what you were talking about. The
Yes.
right foods.
Yes, eat the right foods to develop the brain and the overall mental, physical being. Yeah.
Yep. And then the O's for organic movement. So I'm not going to try to punish my body. Right. I'm
You
not
don't
saying
have to do HIIT workouts.
you don't have to do that, but you're moving for, to release toxins, lymphatic systems, to get your lungs kind of going to get a good sweat, to move your joints, to build bone strength and density. And then W of the GROW is well-being focus.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So and all it is, man, is this framework takes account to the whole health aspect.
Okay.
All right. So physical,
Right.
emotional,
Emotional.
social, and even spiritual.
Right.
It does.
All of those key aspects to teen health
Yeah.
make them thrive.
Yes. And when you put all of those together, you get another cycle. But it's a vicious cycle that brings you down.
It takes you up.
This takes you back up.
Right. Which contributes to their overall well-being.
100%.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly what it is. So you talk about nourish fully. Well, part of when you eat properly, you get to learn how your body is in tune with hunger and fullness, and so you can adapt to those cues. All food groups, right? So if you eat regular meals and you're able to snack without labeling foods, kind of good and bad in a sense. But of course, you stay away from. You kind of know at that point when you're in tune with it, what's good and bad. So, but you can eat the foods and say, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm totally content. I don't got to have the extra burrito."
Right. Right. I know our girls, like when they're testing at school, it's like, I prepare like a balanced breakfast for them. So this way they are full satiated longer and they're not looking for that extra snacks. And they can wait till lunch to eat a proper nutritious lunch. And same thing, they're going, especially if they're in sports or activities, they're going till they get home and they want to have dinner with us.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So nourishment is a big key.
Yes, huge.
And I'm talking about movement. You want to have fun moving. I mean,
Yes.
you
They're
exercise too hard.
young. They don't need to do HIIT workouts.
Yeah. Just learn how to make movements and make.
Ride your bike.
Yeah.
Go run around the neighborhood, right, with your friends. Play basketball.
Don't worry about calories burned.
Right.
It's going on that road down nowhere. It doesn't work. And then sleep. Sleep is a big thing for teens.
Yes, they said teenagers need a lot more sleep than any other group.
8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're growing.
Your brain is growing, and it's like they need more sleep. I don't remember if they say it's more sleep than infants, but they do need more sleep. That's more sleep hours than a regular adult and even elementary age children.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because it's not only that you can rejuvenate, recuperate, but it regulates the hunger hormones. It just supports metabolism. And another thing, too, when you do have the right nourishment, you actually sleep better.
Yeah.
That circle,
Yeah.
positive circle.
But and it's so funny that a lot of these schools, high school starts early.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so these
7 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, so kids are getting up at like especially if they're taking the the school buses, they have to get up crack of dawn to take that school bus to get to school, and they're so tired and sleep deprived, and then by the time they get out of school, a lot of them will either go to sports or they go to work.
So check this out. It's a whole different video or podcast. But you think about sleep deprivation. They're tired and groggy. Who get when you get enough? We don't get enough sleep. How do you act? Like, oh.
Not nice.
Not nice. You get the.
And you wonder why your teen is.
Well, you get the proper, not the proper nutrition, and then you start thinking about all these new diagnoses that are coming out with ADHD. Maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the ADHD, the symptoms, but maybe the root cause is what we just talked about.
They're not getting enough sleep or nutrition.
Yes.
They're not getting
Something in the
enough oxygen
environment.
in their brain and their bodies.
Yeah. So I think that's a downside that could happen, but the positive side that can happen is you get more stable energy throughout the whole day. And what happens? Now you get to lead better or live or improved in academic performance.
Yes, yeah, and their behavior at school as well too, because how many of them they act out in class?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, those habits do definitely better thinking. Just from simple, just like not really dining, but eating for nourishment. And then what happens? Overall, the whole body image and self-confidence,
It goes up.
it goes up. And it's just natural. And you feel good, you look good, and you don't have to worry about this expectation of how you can supposed to look because you have your natural weight. Everybody has their own little natural weight.
Yeah,
You know?
which will be at a nice, which usually should be at normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think another great benefit of it all too is you just got better family dynamics. You don't got to arguing and going back and forth. You know, you're gonna be able to eat together, your meals, and just have a lot more just family time and bonding over meal times.
Yes, yes. Our kids look forward.
Oh, they don't want to miss dinner time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Our oldest, she wants to make sure she's home for dinner, or because if she's out and about, she will call us and say, "I'm on my way home soon. Wait for me."
They don't eat without me. Yeah. So, and the bond is real. Another huge benefit, man, is just your mental health, reduce anxiety.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Kind of hit upon it, right? The ADHD
Yeah.
stuff about food and body, but
It's a huge one.
Yeah.
And mental well-being. It's huge. So if you're eating and nourishing the teens' bodies, they should be thriving mentally.
yeah, mentally. And when you have that strong confidence or that mental capacity, and what tends to happen with their thoughts about peer pressure?
Yeah, they start thinking positively versus feeling that pressure, peer pressure.
Yeah, they can have armor. They can be more resilient against all the harmful images and from social media and all their friends and everything else.
Stronger mentally, yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, so you just get a good development of healthy foods and relationships, the movement, and you get that natural body weight.
My goodness, everything starts with food.
A lot of it does, yeah. It's a big part of it all.
Yeah,
I mean, that confidence. I mean, it just goes. It's a win-win-win, inner and externally.
right.
You know, so and it's really that simple. It really, truly is. And I mean, to lose weight as a teen, I mean, you develop the right habits. I don't care what the family looked like before, but you can definitely break any kind of intergenerational cycles of any kind of, obesity, not having confidence in your body, or any disorders of eating, anything like that. You can break all that by just simple grow framework.
Yes. And for some people, that might be hard to even get started.
It will. I mean, it's
That's
hard because you haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it, but that's where you utilize your support, such as a health coach, right? That's where a health coach comes in handy to help you, especially if you yourself are struggling, to help you, so this way you can help your child, your adolescent.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, man, I think the takeaway from this video or this podcast really is that weight fluctuation during the teenage years is not only normal, but it is necessary for a good healthy development.
Yep, and to support your teens through developing a healthy relationship with food is more important than the actual number on a scale.
Gotta learn how to have a relationship with food. Yep, and to quit counting calories, and when you just focus on, and the third thing is we're going to focus on adding nutritious foods and the good movement which you can enjoy rather than the restriction and rules. That's when you begin to really flourish and just begin to lose weight, gain weight perhaps, right? But just to gain to your natural body composition.
That's true.
So yeah, so here's what we challenge you. I mean, have a good non-judgmental conversation with your teen about how they feel about food and their body. And you know what? Don't even respond. Don't even try to come up with a response. Just listen and then respond with your actions on the back end.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it also starts with you too. So lead by example.
Yeah. So down below, then leave your thoughts. I would love to hear how you thought of this episode, what you think, and kind of your experiences with having teenagers.
Getting them to eat healthy. Well, anything else?
Well, you know what to do.
Until next time, be well.
All right, take care.